Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and one of my favorite parts of the patch 11.2 is the brand new zone that we'll be going into, the broken up ethereal world of Koresh. It's actually just a gorgeous zone in the most haunting way possible. Personally, to me, it just reminds me of Argus from Legion, and it has the same vibes of us just fighting on this war-torn world to destroy a greater threat that is right before us, and I get the same feeling over in Koresh whenever I spend time on it over on the PTR. Patch 11.2 is bringing with it a bunch of new endgame activities for Delve players, Dungeoneers, Raiders, PvPers, but they're also making sure that the zone of Koresh can serve players in a meaningful way. As this is a brand new zone, there's going to be plenty of the same old expected content for you to experience, from the main storyline with different chapters to a variety of world quests, rares, and treasures, but there's also going to be two versions of Koresh, the overworld with one set of activities, as well as the phase diving version, which lets you see Koresh in the different frames, so kind of like two Koreshes for the price of one. They also get this space farming simulator going on with Venari, with its own set of rewards, but also its own set of activities for you to participate in. And for today's video, I wanted to cover everything that players can expect from the open world content of Koresh, the zone itself. What are some of the different content and the rewards, cosmetic as well as power rewards, that you'll be able to obtain from this brand new zone. As always, if you guys want to see more regular updates for the patch 11.2, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. Now, the very first piece of equipment you'll want to acquire as soon as possible once you get into 11.2 content will be your artifact cloak. Every time I say artifact, I want to say weapon because I played back in Legion, but it's the very first artifact cloak that we've had in the game so far, outside of legendary cloaks like in Legion and Mists of Pandaria, but Ratio Wraps will be the artifact cloak that will be made available as of Season 3. It is a cloak with a lot of primary stats, a choice of secondary stats depending on which fibers you put into it, so there's a little bit of customization there, but for the most part, a huge bulk of that cloak will come with primary bonuses depending on your role. Whether you're tanking, DPSing, or if you're healing, there's got to be a unique bonus that will help amplify your role specifically. The cloak, however, will not only be a way for you to be able to get upgrades when it comes to endgame content, but it will actually be also a gateway to open up even more open world activities within Koresh specifically. So it gives you a lot more rewards to discover, but also a lot more things to do out in the open world besides just regular world quests and world bosses. And you'll be able to, over time, expand on that cloak's potential with ethereal strands to further upgrade it, which you can do either through dungeons, raids, PvP, delves, but if you're a big fan of open world content, you also will be able to upgrade it through open world content specifically. And as you're looking to empower the wraps, the first bonus is going to basically grant you your role-specific power increase. And then every single upgrade afterwards will further upgrade that cloak every single time because it upgrades its item level, but also upgrades its overall bonus as well. The cloak itself, however, will grant you more bonuses when it comes to exploring open world in particular, like Secrets of the Depths, which opens up new rooms within delves, which is pretty cool on its own, but in the open world, you'll be able to find phase orbs that'll now grant you additional primary stats, while also giving you a chance to recover phase lost appearances, expanding on your transmog collection. Phase lost items is something that I actually won't be able to preview for every single item here, but if I type in the words phase lost, you'll see that there's going to be some unique and new, but also recolors of existing items that you'll be able to add to your transmog collection. And it seems like there's only some for few of the different armor types, or weapon types rather, like axes, swords, polearms, or wands, or really depending on the class, depending on the spec that you play. But like fist weapons for monks, and if you notice, yeah, these are items that actually appeared in previous expansions, but they added essentially a recolor of these items for you to be able to collect within this update. Like, I mean, the Phase Lost Bardish is the Nexus weapon, but in a different recolor, the blue recolor instead, which is really cool to see. The spear, however, I think is new, unless this is like a Warlord Regenerer spear, just a recolor, which is very possible. I just don't really remember this model specifically. And there's even other bonuses for you to discover as well as you get more upgrades towards the cloak, like with Orbs of Power, where enemies get even more chances to grant you other forms of collectibles, power gains within open world content, but it also increases your movement speed within the phase diving world by giving you a unique mount to ride while within this alternative version of Koresh. Further down, we have What Lies Beyond, which allows you to see treasures while phase diving, which also has a variety of different cosmetics and rewards for you to be able to collect. And the final one being primarily a power enhancement, but also a appearance that you'll be able to collect as well. But the cloak itself will be pretty integral when it comes to exploring Koresh, and there's a couple of different ways that you can explore the open world content of this broken up planet. As Koresh is a brand new zone, like any other zone of Kaz Algar, it's going to come with a variety of content that you can expect, from Ringy Deeps to Isle Adorn and Undermine. We have World Quest, which will grant you a new armor bonus. We have World Quest, which will grant you a variety of different gear bonuses for a starter character, plenty of currencies for you to be able to collect, plenty of transmogs to collect, also Devourer attacks out in the open world, which are a little bit more like multi-group player type of activities for you to engage with. There's plenty of treasures out in Koresh, as well as rares for you to discover. And of course, with a brand new boss, we have ourselves Reshinor the Untethered, a new world boss that will be made available during the content update once seasonal content kicks off. The boss itself, just like the one from the Undermine, is going to drop you champion track gear that is also going to be warbound until equipped. So an opportunity for you to get a variety of different items from the boss that could potentially give you a bit of a leg up when it comes to a brand new season, which gives you yet another avenue for how to gear out your character. However, Koresh actually has two different phases to it. So you have first the overworld version of Koresh, but then you can actually dive into a different phase of it with the phase conduits, which are kind of scattered all throughout Koresh, and get yourself a different variation of this world using the Reishi wraps, which gives you completely different encounters within this phase version of the world, but also its own set of treasures, its own set of rares, expanding the content and giving you completely different activities within the open world content. So you kind of get two Koreshes instead of just one Koresh within this update. Phase diving has a variety of different components, like being able to traverse it in a very different way. Instead of flying around, you can actually teleport to a variety of different conduits that are scattered all throughout Koresh, which actually makes traveling super quick. You move a lot faster while you're within this space on a character, and eventually unlock the ability to gain a mount. So while there are limitations, like not a lot of flying really going on within the phase diving world of Koresh, but there's plenty of transportation with the conduits and the portals that allow you to get from A to B relatively quickly. Outside of just certain rares and treasures and unique challenges that reside within these phases, you also will be able to go after contracts, which are kind of like a capstone quest. After completing a variety of activities out phase diving in Koresh, you'll eventually will be able to get a contract for a very specific enemy or creature that you have to hunt down and then take down, preferably with a group of players, but it's like a build up towards a big quest or the big reward at the very end. And as you're running around phase diving, that's an opportunity for you to be able to get some entry level gear, but also an opportunity for you to get untethered coins, which can then be traded at an untethered vendor, or rather phase diving vendor. Pretty sure they spelled phase diving incorrectly. Yeah, I don't think they spelled that one correctly. But the actual vendor itself has a variety of different things that you will be able to trade those coins for. From a Koresh box of resonance crystals if you're behind on currencies, or even Valor stones, but hopefully it is decent enough for you to be able to trade those if you're just looking to upgrade all of your gear, which can actually, I think, be a nice bonus, right? And to explore open world content, trade it for Valor stones, so now upgrading items become a lot easier. You also can purchase a phase regulator to be able to exit phase diving anytime you want to, as well as a variety of different other rewards such as mounts, unique mounts that you can get only from these vendors, a flying one as well as a ground mount. Then there's also pets as well as transmogs, the ethereal transmogs with a very unique recolor, as well as the untethered blades garb, the untethered striker's gear, as well as the captain's full plate. And I'm a really big fan of the whole ethereal look for all of these items, especially for the cloth one as well as the plate one in particular. Big fan of the way this one looks in general. And then there's also other cosmetics such as a variety of different cloaks for you to be able to collect, a variety of different shoulders for you to be able to collect, so even more things that you can synergize with some of the different items, as well as plenty of toys that you can add in there as well. Koresh is also filled with a variety of different mounts that you'll be able to obtain. Some from quests, some from objectives, and some from rares that you'll be able to find out in the open world as well. And some will be unlocked through certain achievements, so you'll be able to get a lot of these different rewards just for exploring the open world versions of Koresh, both the overworld as well as the phase diving version. which will not only grant you different rewards from cosmetic items, but also reputation towards the Koreshi Trust, or the Koresh Trust, which is going to be one of the main factions that you'll be working on for this update, which has a variety of these different gear bonuses, upgrade bonuses, and things like that. Now, another activity that will be made available not immediately as soon as you launch yourself into Koresh, but it will be something that you'll actually have to unlock over a short bit of time, is the Ecological Succession weekly activity. This one was kind of mentioned by Blizz when they initially introduced patch 11.2 and Koresh, but they never really went into the details of Ecological Succession. And it took a little bit of time to actually do the questline in order to do it, but essentially you're helping Venari from Shadowlands bring some life back into the domes of Koresh, finding out creatures out in the overworld of Azeroth and bringing them to this inhospitable place within these domes to see if they could potentially adapt, to see if you could introduce certain species that can potentially help Koresh flourish. And the first questline you do is to try to introduce some bees to see if they could potentially adapt to Koresh, and then from there you'll be able to go find other creatures and fauna to see if those could potentially be part of the Koresh's ecosystem as well. It actually takes quite a sizable questline for you to be able to even unlock this weekly activity. But in a way, it's kind of like any weekly activity within the rest of the world of Khazalgar. Like the Theater Troop over in the Isle of Dorn, it's basically that. The Ringing Deeps activity of the Awakening Machine, it's essentially that. The Hollow Fall Spreading Light, it's basically that. And when you're doing the objectives for the different leaders of the Weaver's Lair, it's also that too. It's just the weekly activity that is available for this zone, essentially. In essence, it's kind of like going back to this dome in order to maintain it, kind of like how you would maintain a farm, with weekly events within the zone for you to be able to get weekly rewards, but also weekly quests within the area as well, with different quest lines as well as a main quest, in order to be able to expand on this activity further down the line. The actual weekly box does read that it gives you a variety of different rewards like all the other weekly activities: gold, currencies to upgrade gear, pets apparently, and other items which are likely to be unique transmog appearances. Though not all of the rewards for this content has been data mined on the PTR, and it's a good chance that Blizzard's probably trying to keep all this stuff hidden while we're in testing realms to then be revealed once the content officially goes live. That is something that they have done in the past when it comes to some of this content, or maybe just the rewards are not in this build on PTR, and it's something we'll see in the future. But it is supposed to have a unique sort of rewards that you'll be able to get from this activity specifically, especially as you complete the main quest line, as you introduce new creatures and new plants and agriculture into Koresh, as it is a long quest line with weekly activities for you to keep coming back to. It's kind of like managing a space farm, but you're finding creatures out in the Azeroth to put in your space farm, and you can keep coming back to the domes in order to actually check in on the different creatures and fauna that you do introduce into Koresh to see how it's adapting, to see if it's even thriving. And there are also a lot of achievements linked to this content specifically. There's a pretty good chance that War Within is going to have a big meta completionist achievement like they did for Dragonflight, Shadowlands, and War Within, that awarded you with a really sick mount to kind of embolize that expansion, and I wouldn't be surprised if they added something like this for War Within as well. So potentially a lot of these achievements from Ecological Succession are going to be part of this big meta War Within achievement in the future. So even if you're someone who's not really into, dailies when it comes to farm will within this space world of Koresh, it still might be worth your time, especially if you're looking to work towards that big and meta achievement for the expansion down the line. But with that, that's all we have so far regarding the open world content and some of the different rewards that you'll be able to obtain within patch 11.2. As always, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. Also, join our Discord community, especially if you want to just keep up with any of the newest class changes and content updates regarding patch 11.2, or potentially some of the different teasers that they've done for the next upcoming expansion of Midnight, which apparently we should be hearing a lot more about very soon. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.